The weight you carry on your shoulders weighs the same as you. Welcome back to another discussion. Today we're talking about a concept I created around the penny on the shoulder. I like the chip on my shoulder or feeling all this weight and burden on myself. What about that is made for you in terms of how strong you are, how much resilience do you have, what stress levels can you take, and what else about this pressure is for me. If you're new to this channel, make sure you subscribe and follow all my other social medias. They're all Kanchefu. Let us begin. When I was thinking about pressure, burden, weight, I created this concept called penny on the shoulder. Essentially stating that a penny weighs nothing. You can pick up a penny as a 1 cent and it feels as if it's not even there. But on the other side of that is you realize it's there. So let's look a bit deeper into that. The weight isn't a burden, nor is it controlling you, but it reminds your brain, your mind to actually hold it and use your strength to hold it. If we look at the bigger picture of that, what we're essentially saying is that penny on your shoulder can encourage you to rise and lift you up to execute so that you're not weighed down by a singular penny. It's quite a profound thing, and I'm sure you can relate that to areas in your life. It may seem as if you have a huge burden, a huge worry, a huge stress, but it is the weight of a penny. It's the size of a penny, and as you accept it as that, it no longer controls you. It no longer dictates what you can and can't do, and it becomes much more manageable. You realize, oh, yes, I can actually take it off my shoulder and look at it and actually work with it. Penny on your shoulder. If you were to imagine a penny on your shoulder right now, you probably wouldn't even know it's there. You probably wouldn't even think twice about it if it stayed on your shoulder throughout the whole day. But why is that? That's because it's a penny. So what's the difference between our worries, our stresses, our burdens, and the equivalent of something putting pressure on us throughout the day? We give those negative thoughts, feelings, and associations time, energy, and focus. We give them validity. We give them a standing point within our life. And that's when we notice the penny and it becomes heavier than it actually really is. One discussion I'm always having with my clients is there's always a way out. There's always a bridge from where you are to where you want to be. There's always an alternative to every single situation, environment, and circumstance. Whether you want to even look at it and realize it's there is up to you. The penny on the shoulder represents what we can take. I've mentioned the worries, stress, and burdens, but it also signifies how strong we are. If you agree that if a penny was on your shoulder right now, you wouldn't notice that it's there, how strong are you? How many pennies could you take? How much stress can you go through? What really ekes your energy out, breaks you down, and burns you out to the point you can't take anymore? Because then you can understand yourself even more. This no longer focuses on the problem and the issue. It focuses on how strong you are, how much resilience you have, and what with your own power can you do. This is both a physical sense and a metaphorical sense, to give you the time, focus, and energy on what you can do with what you have and who you are. But as we continue, be sure to press subscribe. Now, my second question to you is, what pressures, expectations, judgment, realization, and finally pitfalls do you encounter, have, and then use in your life? Let's look at that deeply. You may have certain expectations, beliefs, and outcomes for what you want for yourself in different life stages. Now, we get them or we don't, and that creates a penny on our shoulder. Did you notice that? We create the penny on our shoulder. And that's quite significant, because now, if you're creating it, then you can remove it, or it can be left alone. The mere fact it's a penny illustrates it doesn't weigh much, but you allow it to be heavier in your lives than it actually is. So instead, I encourage you to take this on board. It really comes down to one word, and that is results. What I mean about that is, if a penny is created from our expectations, our desires, our outcomes, we're ultimately discussing what is the result. Whether it's negative, whether it's positive, whether it's an achievement or whether it's something we're letting go of, what is the result? The result is an end of something. Now, a penny on your shoulder is a result of something else. So if we're taking a look at our results, what equals a result? What equals a result is the way it's conducted, the things that are used to conduct it, and how it's done. So if we look at that, then we can understand, how did I do this? What way did I do this? What did I use? Who did I use? Where did I go? What environment was I in? And how did I actually execute that once I had everything in place? That equals a certain result. And when we form it into a result, we can change results. No result can stay stagnant because we can look back and adjust and learn, oh, that was wrong. And that's throughout life. School, friends, gym, eating, relationships, finances, every part of your life. You can change the result by changing how you did it, what you used, and the way you did it. This concept of a penny on your shoulder comes from focusing on a result. Getting a result contains the matter of how we did it, who we did it with, and the way we executed it. Then we can play and we can understand ourselves that bit more. I always say, use you to your advantage because you are all you have. Nobody can step in your position, can step into your soul, your mind, the way you act, the way you think, your physicality, your spirituality, except you. And that being the underlying principle of who we are, if we have a penny on our shoulder, it comes from a result. How can I change the result? And that's the middle ground on what we like to say here. There's three sides to a coin. You know what? Finally, this makes me think of the results of our actions bring us here today. In everything we do, the way how we think of ourselves, how we think of other people, how we take action, how we don't take action, whether we decide to be proactive or whether we decide to be lazy. So if we're not taking actions in the things that aren't supporting the penny, it's going to feel heavier. It's going to be creating more of a burden, more worry, more stress, and more anxiety, to the point it feels like it's taking over our life. And I'm sure you know what that feels like. You know how deadening and soul draining that is inside, because we're not taking action or we're not doing something about a penny. So if we want to change the results, we change what we do, mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. And only then do you have a chance to realize it's only a penny. My name is Kanchefu. I hope you enjoyed today's discussion, that it's just a penny on your shoulder. And if you did, be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Like the video if you liked it, and share this with someone, a friend, family, anybody else you know that you think would like to hear this discussion. My name is Kanchefu once more. Have a good day, morning, night, or evening for wherever you are in the world watching this. And I'll see you next week for our next discussion.